another coffee with Kilroy. Yeah, beverage, book, you know the drill. Almost out of coffee. And today we're looking at Immortal Fire, Greek, Persian, and Macedonian Wars. This is a supplement. In fact, it is companion number 2 to Field of Glory, a rule set for tabletop miniatures that covers ancient and medieval. And this is ancient. Let's take a look at the back here and see what we have for us today. Command the armies of Greece from the indomitable Spartans of Leonidas to the all-conquering Macedonians of Alexander the Great, or become their opponents. From the mighty civilizations of Persia and India to the wild tribes of Scythia or Thrace, with the Immortal Fire, the Field and Glory gaming component. Companion. Man, I need coffee. Let me get a drink here. Expand your gameplay with the addition of the original rulebook, complete with the organization of hundreds of new troop types, detailed historical overviews of each army, and supporting maps and artwork. So that's basically what this book is. This is an army book. It's basically give you a list of armies for this period to be used with this rule set. It'll also give you some maps and some coloring guides or painting guides, so see some of the images, but it's not meant. It's mainly meant to be an army list book as opposed to a painting guide or a battle scenario type guide. But you can get some of that information in here, but this is really a list of armies. So let's take a look and see what kind of armies we're going to get in here. Here are the contents of this. Classic Greek, early Archimedean Persian, Thracian, Lydian, late dynastic Egyptian, Greek, Carthaginian, Scythian, classic Indian. So you're going to get everybody that kind of gets you into Alexander. Syracusan, Alexander, Macedonia, early successors. So we get that successor period after Alexander's death. And kind of go a little bit beyond that, out to the Greco-Bactrian, Indo-Greek. So you get a little bit of that in here. So not a super thick book, but there's some pretty or relatively important armies in here. So here's the classic Greek. You're going to get some background, some images, and then you're going to get some lists. So here is the Persian Wars Greek starter army, Peloponnesian War starter army, so you've got a list there to build that out. And then you got a little bit more detail. Here's classic Greek list here. So you got a lot more detail popping out there. Here's Persia. A lot more context than some of the other companion books there. And very interesting. Thracian, Lydian, Egypt. Okay, let's get to early Carthaginian. So we're getting right before the Punic Wars here. So a period before that, a few periods before that, actually. Classical Indian, because you're going to get into the conflict between the India and the Greek or Macedonian, and Persian for that matter too. Okay, Alexandrian Macedonian right here. So we get some good information here. Got some battle lineups, which I'm always on the lookout for and appreciate. And here's your Alexandrian Macedonian starter army. Give you some thoughts there. And then there's a little bit more detailed list for Alexander and his forces. And then you get into the successor period here. So you're going to get a lot more variety here because the successors kind of went out to different corners of Alexander's empire and took on those armies. So it should be interesting to see how that melds together here. And then we get to the Hellenistic Greece before we're going to get into the Roman, which will be later. So there you have it. that is a quick look at Immortal Fire, companion number 3 to the Field of Glory series. Yeah, this is an interesting series. Again, if you're a miniatures player, love to know your thoughts on this series and system. I generally like this for the reference books, and that's why I picked it up. Anyway, thanks for stopping by, and have a good one. Thanks for watching.